There we go. Nobody has any meetings? Sorry, any questions? No, we're good? Is everybody good? Type in yes if you're good. There we go. All right, good. Okay, so at any time if you have issues hearing, make sure your mic's on. Sorry, your volume's up and you can hear. If not, the best thing to do is log in, log out. But if you log out, you got to make sure you shut the other window because sometimes we have capacity issues. That's being resolved. We shouldn't have a problem. If there is, they've assured me by next Tuesday we will have the ability to put in 100 people. So it shouldn't be a problem for us. This meeting is being recorded. I will post it 2 days from now on a YouTube link. I will send that link out to you. But you can definitely go to that YouTube channel and subscribe, and you'll be able to see the previous videos that we put up. Okay. We have about 4 or 5 videos up now. We're in the process of putting up another 10 or so. They are previous, but if you have time to go through them, they're about an hour long, and they just go over materials that things that we talked about, financing and different deals that we've looked at and analyzed. Okay. All right. So let's go over the tasks of the week. So what we'll do is just review the same stuff. I put day 1, day 2, day 3. It doesn't really matter. Create a separate email for your real estate. Can be sent through Gmail. For organization and separation from general emails, what we want to allow immediate response for emails. Okay, so did everybody create their own email? Everybody got that done? Good. Doesn't have to be a business email. Yeah, okay, Sharon. Doesn't have to be a business email, just an email that you know that is specifically for your real estate. We want to use it obviously on our business card. Yeah, it will. It'll be posted on YouTube. Yeah. No worries. Okay, so your email, we want that set up. Day 2, create a separate telephone number. There's a place you can go. It's called freephoneline.ca. It's something you can go to set up a line, and there's other ones there. That's just one suggestion. You can set it up with your carrier if you want. What I would suggest is creating, one that's free, or ComWave is another one you can use. Maybe $7-8 a month. It gives you a telephone number, and you can forward that number to your cell phone to be able to receive calls there. Okay, it's just basically again to separate, the different things that are happening in your life. We want to separate it from your life, so therefore we want to make sure that we respond to these real estate questions and responses that are appropriate. 24 to 48 hours is fair. Big thing is when you tell someone you're going to get back to them in a certain time frame, you should always give yourself an extra couple days when you're setting up time frames, just to make sure that you're ahead of it. Better to be early than late. So setting up that number and the email is important. Create your own business cards. Vistaprint, you can use Vistaprint as a link for you. You can set it up with the email and full name. Keep it simple. I would not put your phone number on there. I would just literally put the information that you need, email and your name. You can add the telephone number to that business card depending on the meeting you have, but the big thing is to control the communication you have with someone based on the interaction you had with them, right? So if you want them to just email you at this point, it's great. Just give them the card, tell them to email you. If you want more than that, you can drop your number, okay? This will allow you, again, right, to write on the card depending on the contact you have with the person, investor, buyer, seller, whatever they are to you. That makes it easy for you to keep things sorted out and organized, okay? Day 4, create a business space in your home. It'll be important to create an environment where you use only for business is important. Do not water it down, I would suggest. If you're watching movies or something, just do it in another place. Don't move your laptop out of there. That space needs to be allocated specifically for business. Okay, it's very important. Okay, and we want to write off that area with our business. Our accountant will help us out with that. Let them know what room you're doing it in and the space, and they'll take care of that for you. Okay. Stock with standard office supplies. Keep all receipts. That's very important. Okay. Day 5. mileage logbook, or you can use a link, an app for your phone, your Android or your iPhone. You can get it from any office supply if you want to use the manual, the paper. This is important for tax reasons, and we want to make sure that we track all that information, because there will be a tax write-off for us for our business. Okay. Any questions about that? Did everybody get a chance to do that? Good. Good. Good stuff. There we go. Okay. Not yet. Okay. Something you definitely get onto. Let me do this for you. If everybody looks, they'll see that there's a box right there, and there's a file there. It says task for the week. You can click on that, and it'll actually download to your computer. You can download that file. So everybody, if you get a chance, just click over there and make sure that download works. Just a Word document, but a list of things that I had in a Word document. Good. That's good. Good apps are good. Okay. Did everybody get that file that needs it? Just click on it. You can download it. If you're using a phone to interact with this meeting, it might be a challenge. But this doesn't always let you download files. If you need me to send them to you, just send me an email tonight and let me know that you need it. Good. Good. Okay. All right. Any questions about that before we get into I'm just going to walk through the cash flow sheet, just so you have a better understanding. I know some of you have properties you want to run through there. I want to make sure that I explain it to you, and I don't want you to, if it's because there's a lot of information in there. I don't want you to get overwhelmed. So we'll go through it slowly together over the next 20 minutes for the rest of the meeting, and we'll make sure that we answer any questions as we go along. Okay? Does anybody have any questions? Are we good? Does everybody have that file? Because I'm gonna share my screen now and walk through that Excel sheet. If you're good, say yes. Good. 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 Okay. Awesome. Let's do this. I'm going to share my screen. So let's do this. Share. Share. Okay. All right, share my screen. You're going to be able to see my screen. I'm going to walk through the Excel sheet. Okay, let me see. This is an actual deal from a student. Give me 1 second. I'll go through that later. There. Okay. All right. Let's do that. I'm going to move this here, here. Okay. And I'll make this a little bit bigger. Okay. Can everybody see that? We're good? Okay, good. All right. So pretty simple. Pretty simple. The address goes there. That's really for the email that we set for the intent. That's this tab down here. I don't want you to use this yet. You're not ready for this at this time. But the cash flow sheet populates, and then the intent email actually generates an email. That's something where macros are involved. I don't want you to get into that. Don't worry, I'll explain those clauses in later meetings, okay? So cash flow, we have this was a property actually we have a partner we're looking at, so that's the one that's just populated automatically, just there. Okay, so the property price 1.7. There's 35 units, 550 a unit, 231,000 was the gross income. Okay, now at 550, what should jump out at you right away? If it's 550 average per annum. What should jump out for us right away? Anybody? And the rent's $550 per month. What are we asking ourselves? Anybody have any? It's okay if you don't know. But 550, when I see 550, I'm thinking maybe lower income, right? 35 units, yeah, but the per rent is 550. Does everybody see that? Everybody understand that? If you understand, just say yes, yeah. Okay. So the income, I mean the rent amount is going to be relative to the area, right? So when we see I see 550 or lower. Can everybody hear me now? Are you good? Somebody said I cut out. Am I good now? Okay. All right. So just a quick point. When you run your numbers, I mean 550 rent per. Okay, good. 550 per unit. It's I'm probably thinking lower income. There's a laundry income of 8,400 per year. So the gross income, the effective gross income is 239,400. Pretty simple, right? We just put that number in. So you would put the number of units and the gross income, and it would give you the average per unit. Okay. Same thing with the laundry. It'd give you a yearly income, and it automatically calculate that for you. Okay. Now here we have taxes, we have insurance, water, electricity, gas, snow, garbage, utilities, heating, water, water heater if you're renting it, other, if you had some other that's not covered in this list, and then we have other costs, additional costs, again, just another space for additional costs that we would put in there if it was something that we would, see happening. We're looking for yearly income. The one thing I noticed, and I got to mention this again, is if I didn't mention it or if you haven't heard me say this, when you do rehabs on a property, and let's say this property is 1.7 million, but we did $200,000 in rehab, that would be included in the purchase price. Does everybody understand that? Because that would be part of the cost of the property, right? So if it's 1.7 and I spent 200,000. I don't want to put 200,000 in other expenses, right? Because then it would look like that's a monthly thing that I'm paying. I actually put that money into the property, so that makes the purchase price, the price for me, higher than that. Okay, does that make sense? Good. So we want to add that. We want to add any rehabs to the total value. Good, the total value. Okay. So as we go down, you'll get this information from the seller or the realtor. They'll provide that information to you. Maintenance here, we have 13,000 for maintenance, and management, there's no management cost. And what this sheet is great for is it adds that stuff in if you don't have it. So because we don't have a management cost, it adds 10% as a cost for management automatically. Even if if I put, let's say I put 5,000 a year, it'll automatically adjust. And what it's telling us is it's short 7.9%. It should be 7.9% higher. We're going to add that to the total amount because we're always going to equate to 10%. Does everybody understand that? Does that make sense? So if it's 0, it'll automatically equate 10%. And that 10% is against the gross income, right? It's the gross income right here, okay? So how much is it costing? How much rent are we bringing in? We have to assume management's going to take 10% of that gross income, and that's what's going to take that 23,000 away, and that's for them taking care of the property and the costs associated with that. Now, if you have a condo, someone sent me a condo recently. If you have a condo, that would be management. That would be management, right? Condo would be management, and we could argue that that's maintenance. I would let you use that as a cost for maintenance. So if we had a condo fee, we'd put it in the management. That would be our condo fee. Would be the management, and the maintenance. The maintenance is going to automatically kick in at 5%. We could maybe do something for that to make sure that's kind of included. But if you had 10% management, and I'll tell you right now that if you're doing condo fees are going to be greater than 10% for sure. They're maintaining the outside of the property, but they're not maintaining the inside. So there's going to be some costs associated with maintenance. Maybe not 5%, but let's looking at a property that that does $10,000 a year, 5% is what? It's $500. That's all you're using for maintenance. So it's a fair assessment. I would rather you put the management, put the condo fee in the management section right here. Okay, is everybody good? Okay, so subtotal comes up with all the expenses, right? Comes up with all the expenses, total cost, and then it tells us the net operating expense, right? The total operating expense is $93,843. Okay, and the net operating income is $145,000. So it's saying of the gross income, right? We're paying 39% in total operating expense, okay, expenses, and then our net operating income, 60% of it we get to keep. Does that make sense? That's how much we're spending. That's how much we get to keep. Okay, everybody see that? Does that make sense? Okay. Financing. Okay, just a couple things I'm going to say about financing. I don't want you to worry too much about this area other than what happens when you see it go red. Okay, right now it says 65 and 35. The reason is, and if you click on this, it'll tell you. The reason is that, based on the number of units, if 5 or greater, cell will appear red if it's not 65%. Because if it's commercial, you're not going to typically get more than 65% for a first mortgage from an institution, okay, from a bank. Okay, so that's why it's 65, it's green, and that leaves 35 as a second mortgage, right? Now the second mortgage could be you putting the money in, right? If we go to 20, if we say 20 is a second mortgage, creative financing, right? Maybe a BTB, right? It's going to assume that 15% of that's a down payment from you, right? Now we can obviously adjust this because the down payment could be borrowed also too, right? It could be also borrowed too. Just open that up for numbers, okay? What it's trying to do is just assess, what you're bringing in. Now these numbers can be changed. I put 5%, we can go 3%, 5%, 1%, for the amortization. The amortization could be 30 years. We can go 30 years, 30 years, and 1 year because it's a down payment, right? So, the amount that you're putting in will show up there, the 2,000, because it's really amortized for 1 year. It's assuming it's a 1 year. It's making it a 1 year. But this is trying to give us an understanding of what it's costing us in financing to hold this property. Okay. Now, if I was, and the reason this is red is it's not 35 because you broke this up into 20 and 15. But if I change this to 4 units, okay, it's 4 units. This becomes red because the assumption is that it needs to be 80%, right? 80%, because 80% we can, if it's a residential property which is 4 units or less, 80% is what we can get financing for. A family house with 5 rooms could be considered as commercial. No, typically that's going to be a rooming house. It's going to be a single family home. So that would be you could if you rented out a single family home to a bunch of students, they wouldn't consider that commercial. Typically, lenders won't consider that as a commercial property. Okay. Okay. Good. Now, don't worry too much about financing. That's something we can get deeper into on another session. What I want you to see is, let's go back to, what was this, 35 units? Yeah, 35 units. Now, this is the area that I want to talk about. See this? Here, okay? Now, the cash-on-cash return is 15%. And the reason it's saying that, what it's saying is, for how much you put in to how much you make, right, it's 15%, okay? The dilemma with this particular property is, look, average per unit per month, we lose $448. You see that? Everybody see that? That's the expense on this. It's not the expense necessarily, it's because of the financing, okay? So let me go back to this. Let me show you. So I won't let you do that. So let's go 30. Okay. So when I change that to 35, which is normal, right? 65, 35, no down payment. What you see is we make $123 per unit. Okay? $123 per unit. Cash on cash return is infinite. Why? because there's no money in the property. Right? There's zero down payment, no money in the property, creative finance. This is typically what we want to do, right? Now, I could also, I could also change this to, and it's not a terrible place. You can go a first mortgage, first mortgage can be 5, and do a second mortgage at 7. Okay, at 7. All right, this down payment is not as important. Okay, now you see how that affects the money, right? Drops to $66, right? Because of the financing. If I change this to 3 and 5, all of a sudden we're making $123 per property. Okay, everybody see that? Everybody understand that? Now what you might notice is that the cap rate didn't change. Right? The cap rate didn't change. The cap rate, remember, what's the cap rate? The cap rate's the return on investment if we paid the property off. If we paid this property off, we took in this income, paid all our expenses, no financing, our cap rate, our return on investment would be 8.6%. Everybody see that? Does everybody understand that? If I paid the full property off, brought in this income, and then paid all these expenses, because those are my expenses, had no financing, I'd make an 8.6% return. Okay, does everybody with me on this? Say yes if you are. Good. Good. You think so? Okay, no worries, Dave. Okay, so the reason this is important is this. Look, cap rate, current cap rate represents only how much money do I make if I pay this property off. If I invested $1.7 million, I took in the income, paid the expenses, and had no financing, I'd make an 8.6% return. Does that make sense? You'd make 8.6. Forget about financing. These numbers, average rent per unit, stuff like that, that's going to be affected by financing, right? Because if I change this financing to a higher rate, now I'm only making $87. If I go lower, now I'm making $123 per unit. Yeah, so that's what happens if the property is paid for. Exactly. That's the number. They just call it capitalization rate. The reason they call it capitalization rate, not return on investment, is capitalization rate represents how long will it take me to get the money back that I put into this property. It's the same thing as return on investment. So if you had a 10% cap rate, that would mean it would take you 10 years, right? 10 times 10 is 100. You get 100% of your money back in 10 years. It would take you 10 years to get all this money back if it was a 10 cap rate. Currently, it's at 8, so it's going to take you almost 9. It's going to take you 12 years. Say 12 years to get your money back from that property. It's an important number for us because, cap rate, because it represents really return on investment against the whole value. It's the only way we can, really compare different investments, right? So if we had 2 investments, whether it's real estate or the stock market or something, a business, this is an easy way for us to say which one of these is the best investment. Which one's going to return the best return for me, for my money, right? That's why we need things like return on investment and cap rate. It's really to compare different investments, okay? Because you can't believe cash flow on its own. Cash flow on its own could fool you, right? You could have a high cash flow but a low return. If I put up $100,000 on a property and I make $10,000 a year, that's a 10% return. That's not bad, okay? But if I look at another property and it says, this one's only making 10 grand a year, and I look at this other property and I say, oh my gosh, this property's making 20,000 a year. This one must be better. But that could be 20,000 a year on $1 million. If I invest $1 million and I'm only making $20,000 a year, what's my return on investment? 2%. So clearly the $100,000 property is better than the $1 million property. Does that make sense? Well, typically for us, when a property does a cap rate at 10%, cap rate at 10, we have to do something. We need that number to be around 10. I'll explain why. So the higher the cap rate, the better. The higher the cap rate, the less time it takes to get your money back. The lower the cap rate, So if it was a 5% cap rate, it would mean it would take me 20 years to get my money back. So all you do is you take the cap rate, divide it by 100, and then it'll tell you how many years it'll take. Does that make sense? So whatever the cap rate is, divide it by 100, and that'll tell you how many years it'll take to get all your total investment back if you paid off the property, right? Which we're not going to do, but it's a way for you to compare different types of investments. Okay. Now the other one I want you to look at is coverage ratio. That's right here, coverage ratio. Okay. And the coverage ratio is important because banks look at this. Okay. And the coverage ratio needs to be 1.2 or higher. Typically, banks like that, institutions like that. And all that means is, based on the net operating income, can you cover the debt that you're taking on? And in this case, we can cover 1.5 times our debt. So in other words, after we pay our debt, we have money left over. At 1.2, it's the same thing. Now, if the coverage ratio, you'll see this change, right? If I go 7, look what the coverage ratio does. Now it's 1.6, which means we're making 116% of the cost of paying off the debt. Okay? Banks don't want to see us really less than 120%, 1.2. If I change this to 9, all of a sudden the coverage ratio is 1 almost, which basically means you're just bringing enough money to break even. Okay, you're just bringing in enough money to pay off the debt. Does that make sense? Does everybody understand what? Are you with me? Good, good, good. Okay, so it's okay, and I want you'll get used to this as you start putting in numbers. I just want to give you an overview. Okay, I don't want to overwhelm you, but you'll start to understand this as you put numbers through. Now, what I really like about this is what it does is after you put in all the information, you go down here, and this actually tells you what the property is worth to you. It says that this property is worth 1.455, 1.4 million, 55,570. It's telling you your maximum offer price. The maximum we can pay for this property is 1.455570. Now look at where the price is. It's 1.7. So immediately this tells us it's overpriced, yes, and that's the maximum we can pay. We can't pay more than this for this property. Does everybody understand that? That's just based on income versus expenses. Now this is important. Yeah, very cool. It is very, very important because it tells you immediately how tough it's going to be. What are you dealing with to make this property work for you? And if the number's too far away, it's not worth wasting time. It's not worth wasting time. Now look, as you see, if we can get this property at 1.455, this is what happens. The cap rate turns into 10, and that's where we want to be. That's where we want to. We want to be at 10 cap rate. Okay. Coverage ratio is at 1.5. We're happy. Everything is good. Numbers are good. The financing's at 5 and 6% as interest rates, right? 5 for first mortgage, second mortgage is 6. So they're decent sizes there. We'll have to, further investigate what we can get those mortgages at. We're looking at creative financing. These are 30 years. We can make them 25 or whatever, whatever it has to be. But what's not going to change for us is the cap rate. Okay, that's making sure that we're bringing in enough money, the appropriate amount of money from the investment. Cap rate. Now, what does that tell about the return on the investment? If I pay this property completely off, what does the 10 represent? What does it represent? Who can tell me? What does the 10 cap rate mean to us? What you type in? ROI. Yeah, it's just 10% return. That's all it's saying. Yeah, we make a 10% return after we pay our expenses off. After we, take in income and pay our expenses. That's all it means. It just means we're making 10% of this. That's all it means, right? 10 years, 10 years until it take me 10 years to get all this money back. So what is it saying? It's saying that I make per year $145,555.70. That's what it is. 10% of this. Very important, okay? So because with a 10 cap rate, we can use creative financing and make it work for us, okay? Now, if we go a little bit lower, we're going to see first offer, second offer. So this will tell you what we should do for an offer. Now, I got it set at 70 and 80, but you can set it. You can set this to 90, Let's go 85. 85 and 95, okay? Now, first offer, we'd say to them, look, I will offer you $237,234.50. With the VTB, I can get it up to 1.382791. Okay? Everybody see that? Okay, let's tell him what are we trying to do? Why are we offering him more money with the VTB? Why are we saying to them, look, first offer 1.2, second offer 1.3, almost 1.4. Why am I offering more money as a VTB? Ernesto, yeah, it's kind of a rule of thumb. For us, it is. It's a quick rule of thumb, yes. Yeah. Now, we can get more complicated. We can get more complex with cap rate, and we will later on. Right now, I want you to understand the sheet more than anything, okay? So, yeah, Sierra, you're right. Because they're using their equity as leverage, and by them, do you remember when I talked about negotiation, right? If they want price, we ask for time, right? And if they want the price, a higher price, they're going to have to give us time. How do they give us time? They give us the opportunity to pay off this property longer, right? So we're asking them to give us a VTB, right? We want to give them an incentive VTB, and in this case, this difference is pretty substantial, right? It's $150,000 almost more if they're going to give us a VTB. Okay, now you can see the versus list price 73% versus list price 81%. Now, even though this says 95, this is 95% of this price. That 81 is 81% of that price. That tells you how far you are away from the actual price. Everybody understand that? Does that make sense? Right? 73% of the list price, not the price that we want, of the actual list price. But this is good, right? Because if these numbers are too far away from list price, which is possible, it's not going to be a deal that's probably going to happen. Okay? So, if we go down here, we see this is where the VTB. So VTB INP means interest in principal, and this is VTB interest only. You see the VTB is $509,000 for both, right? $509,000. That's what this is, right? This is in this offer. We're going to ask for $509,000 as VTB. In the first situation, it's a 5-year term, 30-year amortization. We're willing to pay you, sir, 5%, and that's going to give you a monthly payment of $27.18. Yearly, it'll give you $32,626, and sir, at the end of 5 years, I'm going to give you a check for $467,479. Okay? If you decide, sir, to do interest only, which is good for us too, what I can actually do is give you a higher percentage, 6% instead of 5%, as in the previous offer. And what I can do is I'm gonna pay you less per month, just slightly, a few $100 less. But what that's going to do is you're going to make more money because I'm paying 6% on the whole amount. So at the end of the term, you're actually going to make more money. You're going to make more money. You're going to make $139,000 versus just over $500,000 in this case. Okay, does everybody see that? Everybody understand what I'm showing here? Yep, makes sense. So they're going to make more money if they do the VTB interest only. Okay, more money if they do the VTB interest only. Does that make sense? It's confusing you? Okay. So there's two options. These are two different options for the seller, right? Two different options. They're picking one or the other, okay? We're saying, look, we'd like a VTB. We'd like a VTB, okay? So why at 5.5 rate they get more monthly at 5%? Why do they get more money at a 5% interest rate? Because we're not just paying interest, we're paying principal. That's why they're making more money. They're making $200 more. Because in this case, it's interest and principal, so the monthly payment's going to be higher. Okay? Everybody see that? Everybody understand that? So if the person decides to take the VTB with its principal and interest, the payment's going to be higher for us. Does everybody understand that? Everybody with me? Type in yes if you're with me. Okay, good. Is anybody confused at this point? Does that make sense to everybody? Does anybody have any questions or confused? Okay. 50%. Okay. All right, here's the other 50. Look, if they decide, you know what? I'll let you pay interest only, right? It's the same amount, but instead of us paying principal and interest like in here, we're only paying interest. So we'll give you a little bit more money. We'll give you 6% interest, 6% interest instead of 5% interest. And what we'll do is we'll only make interest payments. So the interest payment in this case would be $2,547 per month, which is less than this one. But that's because we're not paying principal. But what it does for them is this. Look, equals this plus, where is it? Shift. Let me show you what it is at the end, okay? Hold on. It'll make sense to you. Okay, so we go equals this, which is the monthly payment, times, don't worry if you don't know how to do what I'm doing right now, it doesn't really matter, okay? That's, right, that's monthly payment, 60 months, right? 60 months, that's what you're paying. Here, 60 months, you're paying less. You're paying less, okay? But you're paying less because it's interest. But look at the balloon payment at the end. Look what we have to pay at the end. We have to pay the $500,000 still, right? Here we have 509, here 467. So what happens is you take this, the monthly payment, and you add it to this, and you get a total amount of $630,000. Okay? Down here, he makes $662,000. Can anybody tell me why? Why is he making more money on the bottom than the top? Who can tell me why? More interest. That's right, Timothy. More interest. Does everybody understand that? Because we're paying interest only, we're paying interest on the whole amount. When we do principal and interest, we're paying less because we're giving a little bit of principal each time we make a payment. So over time, we're paying less interest on it. Plus, in the second case, we're paying 6% instead of 5%. So as a seller, B2B, vendor take back, that's seller financing. Share the seller financing. Do you remember us talking about seller financing? That's when the seller, yeah, good. That's seller financing. So if you're the seller of this property, we're saying to you, hey, we'll do this or we'll do this, whatever you want. If you do principal and interest, you'll make $630,000 at the end of it. When you do interest only, you're going to make $662,000, which is more money, right? But we actually prefer to pay you more money, sir, because that's going to do what to us? That's going to increase our cash flow. So instead of $2,700 a month, we're giving up $2,500 a month. Does everybody see that? Good. Good. Now here's the fun part. You ready? Okay. Look at this. If this guy says, you know what, I'll take the interest only, Sam, I appreciate that, that works for me. If I say, okay, because you took the VTB, what I really paid for the house was, the property was what? This plus this. Ready? Let me show you. Look what I paid. Everybody see that? I paid $2 million for the property. How much did he want originally? Everybody remember? 1.7. I was able to get him over $2 million. The reason I could get him that $2 million, right? Yeah. The reason I could get you the $2 million was how? By you helping me purchase the property you want to sell. Does everybody see that? Good. If he chose the other option, and we'll do that. Let's do this. Let's do that here. Let's do this. Equals this plus this. He would have made just $30,000 less. You know, even if he chose the other one, he'd still be over $2 million as a purchase price, right? What he totally made. We call that total wealth accumulation. Total wealth accumulation. Everybody see that? Well, the term is the term is 5 years. The term is 5 years. The amortization is 30 years. Does everybody know the difference between those two? Everybody know the difference between those two? Yeah, 5 years. We're paying this balloon payment in 5 years, right? 5 years. Why can we do that in 5 years? Why can we pay this balloon payment? How are we going to do that? How are we going to do that? How are we going to do that? There's two ways we can really do that. Refinance, or, you're absolutely right, Justin, refinance or sell it. Or sell it. One way or another, we can sell it. The other thing we can do with them, and believe me, they'll want to do this, we could extend the mortgage another 5 years. I've done that. Extend the mortgage. And it could be another year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Because they're making great money, right? You got to remember that. They're making a killing. They're the bank, right? They're making a great amount of money. Okay? The VTV doesn't, yeah, it comes off the purchase price. It comes off the purchase price. But this is what it was. What it was we paid this. Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I made a mistake there. You're absolutely right. I add that too much. Okay, so here, my apologies. My apologies. I gotta take out. This is what he got. I'm sorry. I jumped the gun. I felt like that was kind of high. I felt like we paid too much. You're right. You're right. My apologies. Nice catch. Okay, so here, my apologies. This is what he's paying. This plus this and this plus that. Everybody see that? My apologies. Thanks, Timothy. I apologize. So what's he make? Oh wait. Hold on. This plus, my apologies here. So this plus this is the VTV interest only, and that is equals this. My apologies. It sounded too high to me too. 45. You should make more on this one. No. Hold on. Can't do it that way because that's the full amount. You got to add that too. Okay. Here we go. We got to go this minus this plus this. There we go. Right? 503 original. Yep. And this one is equals this minus this plus this. There we go. There it is. That's the right number. My apologies. Okay, good catch. Okay, so we're not paying him $2 million, which would makes a lot of sense. But what we are doing is remember this. What did he want? He wanted 1.7. We got closer to his purchase price. We got 1.535, which is, let's see, equals this divided by this equals, that's 90% of his purchase price. Versus, how much originally were we going to give him for the purchase price? Who remembers? Do you remember? 145? 1.45? Do you remember the percentage of the original price we were going to pay? Does everybody remember that? Remember what's the original, what was the first offer we were going to give him? Without VTV, first offer, it would have been how much of the purchase price? $70, yeah, there you go, 73. 73. You see that? The first offer, we were saying to him, look, if I buy your property for cash, I can give you 73% of your purchase price. But if you do a VTV with me, it says 81, but over the term, what do I give him? I give him 90% of the price. Now, I've shown you examples in the past before where you're actually paying them more money than they offered. The reason that it's not that case is because this property is at 1.7. If this property was at 1.5 million, we go down here, and now we're paying him more. You see that? We're paying him more. Yeah, it's better for him for tax reasons. Does anybody know why? Does anybody know why it's better for tax? Anybody want to guess? Anybody want to guess? I'll come back to your question, Justin, in a second, okay? Yeah, it doesn't, all the money's not coming in at once, right? All the money's not coming in at once, right? So capital gains, yeah. If it's an investment property, he's paying 50%. This way he can control how much money comes in, right? So now instead of him getting the 500,000 in one shot, he's spreading that over a period of time, and now he's only getting 2,700 a month, which is considerably less, right? Yeah, exactly, Timothy, exactly. And with a good accountant, he can control that to even show that over that period, you know, that gives him 5 years to adjust things to make his tax situation better. Yeah, it would be even better, Dave. Yeah, for most situations. I don't want to say for every situation because you don't know what his other balance sheet, what the rest of his balance sheet looks like. But definitely, you know, less, you know, having less obviously for the tax reasons. Yeah, could be beneficial to him big time. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions about this? We good? Especially Edmonton Calgary group. I know the other group have seen this before, but any questions obviously. But I want to make sure because the Edmonton and Calgary group, this is still new to you, and you're working on it. And you know, I want you to you know, work on 5 different properties. They can be fake if you want to. They can be real, would be better. But it can allow you to start to better understand what's a good deal and what's not so good a deal. And you'll find properties that are way overpriced, because the only thing that matters to us really is how much money can we make? What's the income? You know, how much are the expenses? What's the income? Can we make money? Okay. Yeah, absolutely, Dave. Use this for all properties, commercial and residential. Now, going back to Justin's question, Justin, when we refinance with the bank, actually on this property, they're going to give us, they won't give us 80%, Justin. They won't give us 80%. They're going to give us probably more in the range of 65%. 65% is what they're going to refinance. Okay? Does that answer your question, Justin? They'll refinance at 65%. Now remember, well, here it is. This is what I want you to understand something, okay? Remember I talked to you about this, and I don't want to get too, refinance. How could they cover the balloon payment? So this is it, but you got to remember a couple things, okay? So this property, you know, let's make some assumptions, okay? Okay, and the biggest assumption I'll get into in a second. Say it stays at the 1.5. Let's just leave it at 1.5 because it really doesn't matter in this regard. If it's 1.5 million, okay, 1.5 million, oops, 60,000. Is that 1.5 million? Is that right? Okay, 1.5 million. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go here. One. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good. What appreciation rate do you think is fair, realistic for in the open market? Well, you know what? Let's use the 6% because that's what the average rate is 6%. Yep. So we go equals this times this. 4. Good. So it would increase $90,000 in the first year. So let's do this. I just got to do one more plus. I got to add it to the original price. This there. Oops. So it equals. Press it equals there. There we go. Okay. You see that? Okay. Now what I'm going to do, okay, is I'm going to do it again next year. That's what it goes up to. Next year, that's what it goes up to. Next year, that's what it goes up to. Next year, that's what it goes up to. Everybody see that? Okay, let me make that a little bit bigger. Everybody see that now? Does that make sense? Okay, good. Now the more important thing I want you to focus on really is us. So that's what they're going to be the value just on that. What we're going to do is going to work on increasing the income, right? We're going to take the income and increase it, and that's really what's going to have the biggest effect on us, right? Over that period, it's not just going to go up by 6%. It can go up much higher if we do what? If we work on the income. If we work on the income. Now, when I do this, equals this times 65. Now, look at 65%. What's 65%? 1.3 million. You see it? Everybody see that? Yeah. Now we're in a position where we can get a lot closer to. There we go. A lot closer to taking care of this 509. The balloon payment's 509, right? And if you look at the original mortgage, original mortgage was 946. So 946 equals this minus, minus this, that's reverse, equals this minus this. There you go. So right now, just with this alone, we're up 358,000. What do we say we'd give the guy? 467 in this case, 509, right? So we're short here about 100 grand. Here we're about 150. Okay, everybody see that? Everybody understand when I say that? So to pay this balloon payment, right? Here we'd be short about 150,000 after 5 years. Okay. Now there's lots of things that can happen in that 5-year period. What could we just do actually? We could just sell it, right? We could just sell the property. You know, we could just sell the property and take the profit, right? Because if we bought it for 1.5, and our total, this is what our total purchase price is. So if we bought it for equals 5 years ago for this, we bought it for this over here. We got this, the 2 million. That's what we made it in 5 years. 471,000. We can just walk away like that. Everybody see that? We can just walk away and make our 471,000, right? Because that'd be just paying off the property completely. If we want to hold it, we would make that balloon payment, renegotiate. There's 100 things to do. Not bad for 0 down. Yeah, exactly. We make about 471,000 on this property. Now, the reason we're going to make 471,000 on this property, close to $500,000, is because we know what we're doing, right? We know what we're doing, right? We know how to manage properties. We know how to take care of the property. That's what's going to allow us to do that, okay? Yeah, you could do VTB with someone else. You could pull in investors. There's 100 things we could do, really. Is 6% appreciation? Yeah, 6% is appreciation. This is an appreciation, which is the average. 6% is the average, right? Now, if the income goes up, let's say, the gross income. So look at the net operating income. So, you know what? I'm not going to get into that right now. If the net operating income went up like it's supposed to year over year, it would be worth more than $2 million. Easy. More important than appreciation, Ernesto, is income. Way more important. Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, the rent increase also is the 2%, depending on what province you're in. Justin, in Ontario, we're looking at that. In Calgary, in Alberta, they can do whatever they want, really. Market determines. you know, better managing the property, just taking care of it, keeping our expenses down. That's what's going to make that work for us. Okay. The screen, I can't get that off because that's how I see you. I'm moving it around, but that's how I see you. That's how I can see your questions. Yeah, I know it sucks. Yeah, vacancy's in here. Vacancy's in here. Vacancy is right there. Vacancy 5% right here. Vacancy's in there. Make sense? Okay, good. All right. Okay, so everybody type in yes if they're okay. If you're not okay, say no, because I'm going to move on to something else. The intent email says the net offer price is only the first offer value Y. And that's so this intent email here point, I really don't want to get into that with you. I don't want you guys to use that just yet because it's macros, right? You can use the information there, but it's not going to generate the email anymore because I don't do that anymore because it was a macro and on different computers it runs differently. But if you look here, the vendor take back, the offer price would be, is this what you're talking about, right? That's what we're talking about? Yes. Okay. So you see with vendor take back, it's 1.3, the seller 509, and the interest rate would be 5%. Everybody see that? Okay. If we're looking at the intent, when you come down here, you see Ernesto, what happens? 509 at 5%, that's the price, 30 years. If you do 6%, it'll be this. See that? You see the difference, Ernesto? Yeah. So what all this is doing, this email does, is it takes all the information from this stuff here, right? All this information, and it takes this information and generates an offer. It says, look, you know, this is what I'll do. So this is in this email, and I don't want to get into this right now, but we will. That's okay. We can answer the question. Look, it says, thank you for the information you provided on this whatever street was, right? I would like to make an offer on this property, the following basic terms and conditions, okay? The net offer price would be this. With the vendor take back, it would be this. That's with seller financing at 509. Interest rate would be 5% for 5 years, 30 years. Please add the below clauses to the purchase price, right? And this is us basically saying, look, if you like what I'm saying to you, please put a contract together, I'll sign it. But I need you to put these in. I need this financing clause, this income clause, the rent verification. There's more information here, okay? There's more clauses there, okay? Property viewing rights, right to show. These are all the clauses that are required for us to be able to sign that contract. Otherwise, we're not signing the contract. Would we want an appraisal first? Not yet, Sierra, not until we get a deal in hand, right? And with appraisals, often the financing will take care of the appraisals, right? The financer will take care of things. Now, commercial, they're not going to. It's going to cost you, but that's okay. That's okay. When we get to that stage, there's a reason that we're paying money to get that done. Okay? It's okay to pay a little bit of money to avoid a bad mistake, right? We all agree with that, right? We'd rather pay a little bit of money and make sure that we're making the right offer and the right property. Because once you're into these properties, you're in, right? We don't want to make a mistake. So when we're paying that little bit of money to make sure and vet the deal, it's worth it to us. Believe me. Believe me, you don't want to make a real estate mistake. Anyways, these are the clauses, and I'll in another class, I promise you, maybe next class, if you guys are ready for it, I'll go through these clauses with you, and I'll explain what these mean, and then we can talk about intent emails. Okay? I don't want to overwhelm you with information right now. The biggest thing I want you to do is understand this sheet, and the best way to understand this sheet is to put property numbers in it. Okay? Property numbers. Okay? Now, a couple things I want to do, okay, before we wrap up, because I want to make sure I get a chance to look at a couple of different properties. Okay, this one is, this property belongs to, let me double check here. Going back to vacancy rate, how is it calculated? Sierra, that's calculated at 5%. 5%. Make sense? Yeah, 5% vacancy rate. Could be higher. If it's higher, we change the number. Okay? Change the number. Give me 1 second. I know. Let's go back here. And check. Paul, I got your deal up too. There we go. You guys are seeing my desktop. That's hilarious. Anyways, okay. All right. So this property here, is a condo. Okay. And I wanted to talk just quickly about this. Is that okay? Okay. Okay. A couple things I said about a condo. What did I say about a condo? Anybody remember? Yeah, I can make it bigger. Everybody see that? Okay. All right. So, a couple things I want to say about this property. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Let me do this. Why don't I just do this? And it'll be easier for me. Okay. So let's do this for a second. Just gonna do this for a second. Okay. I'll be right back. Let me check something. See something here. Oh, right. Okay, here we go. Let's go back here. Okay. Share this thing again. Share. Select property. Okay, here we go. All right. This property, Raphael, are you with me tonight? Seeing you there. Raphael, you there? Good. This is your property, yes? Is this yours? Okay, good. All right, here's a condo, okay? So you can give us some insight into that, okay? So, give me 1 second. Did I do that? Is that right? Raphael, Yasmin, yeah. Raphael and Yasmin. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's do this again. Do that. Let's share. Okay. All right. So here we go. We're going to walk through this property together. Okay. A couple points. Can everyone see? Please make view smaller. The screen is better. Smaller screen is better. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Look. Let me do this. Okay. We just want to make sure we get all the information. I'll make it smaller as we need it, okay? Okay? So, can everybody see that? Is that big enough for you? Okay, good. Okay. So here's an actual property they have in Calgary, okay? And you're okay with, we're talking about this, Raphael. Is that all right? You're okay with that? Just want to double check. Excellent. Thank you. Okay. So it was a condo. It was $289, right? 1 unit brings in $1,670 a month. The rental income is $20,040. That's excellent. Okay, that number works out fine. Then we have taxes, have to pay the taxes, right? That has to be paid. That's per month what we're paying in taxes. Utilities are $660, okay, $55 a month. Now here, other cost, $105. Can you let us know what that is, Raphael? What's the 105 for? That's the phone. Oh, okay. You pay for the phone. Okay. Okay. No worries. Good stuff. Other costs, $4,300. This was actually a rehab that was done on, right, Raphael? That was rehab. So what we do with rehab costs is we add that rehab cost to this price. So if we add $4,300, because that's basically the investment of the property, right? 403. What does that put us at? 243. 292, right? I add that up right? Is that right? Now we're up to 292,200. Is that right? Okay. Okay. 293. Let me see. Okay, you're probably right. Okay, let's see. Let me just do this. Equals this plus, just to make sure, plus this equals 294,200. 294,200. Okay, 294,200. Okay. All right. We good? All right. So that's the new price. It's 294,200. Okay. Everybody got that? Okay. So that makes this what? What does this make? This now, Raphael? 0. Yes, 0. Because it's not something we pay monthly. We put it basically in the purchase price. It's right in the purchase. That's basically the purchase price plus anything we do in addition to it. That becomes the value. That becomes, you know, what we got into the property. Okay. All right. So then we go down here and 6,400. This is the maintenance, or we could call this management. Either or, right? I'd rather we call it management, or because it's the property, it's the condo fee. Yes, and make this a 0. Yes, okay. Make that a 0. So that's the management. Now it says it's 22% over, but that's okay. That's the cost. I mean, it's $534. It's saying that the $367 could be recouped if we managed it better. Okay. Now the one thing it's doing, the vacancy we want to keep. We want to keep that $1,000. Now here, the maintenance is still going to say 5%. So it's going to assume that you're going to stash away $83 a month to put aside. So at the end of the year, you have an extra $1,000 just to maintain the interior of the property. Okay, Raphael, does that make sense? Okay, good. Now we go down here and we see that the first mortgage is 80%. You put down 20%. 25-year mortgage, 2.5. That's the monthly payment, right? That's what we're paying per month, correct? Okay, good. All right. Now when we go down here, we see the current cap rate's at 3%. What does that mean? What does that mean to us? It means that this, if we paid it all off based on income versus expenses, we make 3%. Cash on cash return, though, cash on cash return, you're making $220. So it's not terrible. You're making 20%. It's not terrible, but it's red because it's not as high as 30. The big problem here is even with a 20% cash on cash return, we're losing, it says, $660 a month. Now that's not completely correct. You told me, right? What did you tell me that it's I thought you were making a little bit of money because I took away the maintenance and other costs, right? I took away the other costs. I was trying to see what we could do, and I was trying to understand what you're making per month. And the reason this number, because we added the rehab here, that makes this number a little bit worse. So based on just to give you an idea, based on the income versus expenses, you know, it says we are up to 294. Based on income versus expenses, it says this property is worth $89,000. Does everybody see this? Everybody understand? Okay? Okay. Also, the coverage ratio is 53%. It means the net operating income of $8,900 a year. The debt service on this is $16,000. So we're 50%. We're subsidizing the debt service with this. Okay. Now I want to double check something. Let me double check something. The reason it's doing the 20%, it's assuming that's a payment, right? And see, this is the difference is here, right? It's assuming that the 20%. We can change that to 3 for inflation. It's assuming that you've taken 20% payment and it's not your money, that you're paying yourself 3%, and that's where it came out with the payment. But really for you, this is 0, right? You're not paying anything for the down payment. There's no interest actually attached to it. So this doesn't like to go less than 1. So, well, let me do 0.01. No. Just check something. Well, let me do that. That'll bring it as low as that. So this helps out with the coverage ratio, right? Because basically I basically made the down payment 0 in the way of payment. It's $1.39 a monthly payment, just to bring it to a point where it's having less effect. Just do that. Okay. So when we look at this property, okay, the cash on cash return is really 20%. We can't show that because it wants to calculate a zero investment in the property. But the current cap rate's not going to change. It's 3%, right? Cost per unit is $294. Now the coverage ratio is a little bit better, but you know his $20,000 is stuck in this property, right? So that's not going to change the actual value of the property, because the value of the property to us is always based on what? What's it based on? Net operating income. The net operating income matters to us. How much are we making on this property? Okay? And based on that net operating income, that's what the property is worth. $89,615. And it's important to know that number because it doesn't include financing. If you put all the money and paid this property off and had a 0 mortgage, your return on investment would be 3%. And we clearly don't want a 3% return. We clearly don't want a 3% return. We want to do better than that. Okay? So a couple things. What could we do with this property, Raphael? What are some of the ideas that we got? How we could do this? Anybody? What ideas do we have? Rose, it is fixed up, so it's right now it's in retail state, Raphael, right? It's in retail state. It's in perfect state. You know, we could sell it, absolutely, right, Raphael? The way it is right now, it's in tip-top shape. Yeah, good. So yeah, we could sell it. We could sell it, get some money out, make a little bit of money, maybe break even. But now that 20%, you know, is in our pocket instead of in the property, right? And that's $60,000, right? That's almost 60 grand, right? That you put into this property. Now, if we do a rent to own, let's look at that, okay? If we do a rent to own, the rent right now is $1,600. How much more do you think we can increase this rent? Let's say we increase it to $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month, okay? So that becomes $24,000 a year, okay? $24,000. $2,000 a month, 1 unit, $24,000. Let's see what that does to the numbers, okay? Okay, because these numbers are not going to change. Well, my apologies. What's going to change? Well, we're not going to pay for utilities anymore, right? So that's a 0. That's their problem now, right? We're not going to pay for the phone. That's their problem, yeah? Everybody with me? Okay. Now, vacancy, that's going to be a 0. But this thing won't let me do 0 because it never trusts us that we're going to do a 0. So let's put 1. We'll get it down to as low as we can, right? And we'll do maintenance. Let's do 0, 1. It won't let me go 0. And this is not going to change for us, though. The management as an expense. Does everybody see that? That management is not going to change. That's going to be there for us. We're paying that. They don't own the property. Okay? Now, we could say to them, we could say to them, it's $2,000 and this extra payment's yours. Because if they own the property, that's what it would be, right? Everybody knows that, right? Does everybody see that? So if they buy it, so let's leave it on us right now. For now, let's see what the numbers look like. Cap rate goes up to 4.8. Not good enough yet, but better. Look at the coverage ratio, 1.1. Much better now, right? Much better. We got more money coming in than we're pulling out, so it's a better situation for sure. If we can get them to get this to 0, and then we take this to 1%, okay? You know what? I'm going to do even this. 1. Just let me do the 1%. Okay, because that's an extra $5,000 that I would want to get back. You know what? I know what I can do. I can. Give me 1 second. If I do that, it gets up to 6.2. Everybody see that? So if we get these down to 11111, which is the lowest we can get them, because it assumes that we're holding the property. This isn't a rent-to-own sheet. I have a different sheet I'll show you for rent-to-own, okay? We'll do that in another session. But if I bring these down to 1, I want to get back that 5,700. Let me get that 5,700 back. I know how to do it. Let's go 5,700. So it'll be 5. Well, put it here. 5,700. So go 20, 57. Go 30,000 to get that back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Goes up to 67, but that's about as close as we can get. Okay. The cap rate goes to 7.9. Much better. Yes? Much better, right? And the coverage ratio is 1.8. You're making money at this point. You're bringing in cash flow. You are bringing in cash flow. Absolutely. You're bringing in cash flow. And look what the price does. It goes up to value of 232. Now it's a little bit below this, but not too far off. Not too far off. Do you see that, Raphael? So if we do a rent to own, it'd be a much better situation financially for you. This is the thing, Raphael. When you rent to own a condo, the killer is this condo fee that we took away. Let me put it back. There it is. The condo fee. The condo fee. This is murder. If we can't get that off our plate, look what happens. Covered. We're covered. We're making a little bit of money, but not a lot. And the cap rate's still 4.8. Look what the value is, 142. So if we're going to do a rent to own, so first thing we'll do is this, Raphael, ask the people that live there if they want to buy it. And that you can help them out possibly. That's the first thing we can do, okay? Let's ask them that. Okay? Okay? And if they say, yeah, we're interested in buying, we actually are interested in buying, say, look, I can help you. I can help you buy it if you'd like. We can do a rent to own. Or Raphael, and this is up to you, but you could ask them if they want to buy it outright. Right? Outright. There was a down payment. Yeah. There was a $20,000, $60,000 almost down payment on this property. Dave, yeah. Yeah. So we could $60K down payment. Yeah. 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 You can't, it's tougher to do it on this sheet because rent to own, because it's not set up for rent to own. It's set up for income properties, right? So if he originally had this at 20%, that's the money he put into the property, right? 58,000, you know, and it's actually a little bit different because we put in the rehab here. You see that? The reason I took it out is because it was affecting his financing, right? So I could do 0.001 if it lets me. It won't. It'll let me do 1. So I'd have to do 1%. It'd be $227 because it assumes that you're financing that down payment, right? Okay, so let's do this. I thought maybe on their end, the down payment. What do you mean by that, Dave? The renter. Well, yeah, they can get that money out too, right? They'll be able to get 5%. They won't get 20%. That's the other thing, Raphael. Good thing, yeah. We talk about that. Raphael, you get 5% at least. Let's go 3%. Just say 3%. Let's say we call this, the value of the house is $300,000. You get $9,000 cash. So you recover some of this money that you put in the property, right? Yeah, the option. So this is what we can do. We can ask them if they want to rent to own or they want to purchase. Okay, because really those are the two options I see, Raphael. And I want to press this on everybody. This is my opinion. This is what I see. This is how I would approach it. Raphael, if you wish to keep the property, you can. But I think you want to do better, and I think there's an opportunity for you to do better. But ultimately, it's your decision what you want to do with the property. The two options that I see here are rent to own and sell. I would go to the renter personally myself and say, do you want to rent this property? Or sorry, do you want to own this property? And if they say yes, and they can purchase the property, let them purchase it. If they say, well, we'd love to purchase, but we can't purchase because of our credit, blah, blah, then we do the rent to own. That's how I would approach it. That's what I would look at as options, because this particular property on your balance sheet, as your portfolio is not doing a ton for you. I think you could do better. That's my opinion. But I mean, it's totally up to you. It's totally up to you. Anybody want to pipe in, say anything? Any questions? Raphael, what do you think? Yeah, Dave, definitely want to make sure, and this is for everybody, you want to make sure that they have the down payment. You don't want to do this without the down payment. The non-refundable option consideration. You don't want to do that. You do not want to do that. Yeah. So Raphael, the monthly payment for them would be $2,000 a month. They take care of the condo fees. So we'd raise that up to $2,000 a month. That's what's going to bring you in cash flow. By getting rid of some expenses by maintenance and the telephone, and the other expenses, we would increase the rent, reduce the expenses, and that would bring you in more income. At 3% minimum, Dave. 3% minimum. 5 is better, 3% minimum. Remember, you want to give that money back to them, so you want to make sure that if you're taking the rent credits become very important, because you want to make sure they have enough money to actually purchase the house at the end of the term, right? And if they're first-time home buyers, which most of them are going to be able to, they're going to utilize the first-time home buyers, they're going to need 5% plus closing costs, right? Plus closing costs. Okay. Raphael, any more thoughts about this? Do the monthly payments count as part of the purchase price? No. So Raphael, if we were getting $2,000, that would be $1,700 was $1,670, I think. $1,700 would be $1,700 would be the actual rent. You'd keep all of that, and the other $300, right? The other $300 would be a rent credit. And we give that back to them as long as they buy the house, right? As long as they buy the house. So times 36, if we went 3 years, that'd be $10,800. Yeah, Rose, I would personally, I'm not a big fan of condos. Yeah, because of condo fees. Yeah, Sean's right. It's just you can't control them. You'd be all right if you could control them. It'd be a lot better if you could. But they can put a special assessment on you at any time they want, and you can't say no. You can't say no to them. That kind of drives me crazy. So Raphael, does that make sense to you? Even multi-unit condos, if you're buying a condo complex, you mean, Sierra? No, that'd be okay. That'd be fine, because the whole complex, and you don't have to. You can manage the property yourself, right? There's lots of things you could do. There's lots of things you can do in that case. Yeah, for sure. So Raphael, think about it. You guys can talk about what you want to do with it, and if you have any more questions, reach out to me. And if you feel confident, then you can do what you want to do. Absolutely. we want to get those things off our balance sheet as quickly as possible if they're not making us money. And when you're ready to make a move on that, Raphael, just let me know and we can have another conversation. Okay. Good, excellent. All right. So I want to bring up another one. Paul, are you there? Still got you, Paula? There you go. This is yours, right? This is for VTB. You can do VTBs with this one, Sierra. There's a different sheet for red zone. We can look at over again. The VTB really is right. All this down here is VTB. Okay. No, this sheet here will do rental income. This one's going to be past. This is going to do. The assumption with this one is that it's all about income, cap rate, doing creative financing with VTB. So this one's the standard one you'd use for running the numbers on the value of a property and what it is. For a property that's a rent to own, it's different because we got to calculate the rent credits and we got to calculate other costs associated with it. We can go through that sheet another week for sure. So rental, this is the rent income sheet is right here. This is the best sheet you can possibly use to give you the information you need. I'll send that to you. I don't want to, again, the biggest thing is to make sure that you can digest this stuff, and the best time to give you those kind of things is when you need them, when you're working on a deal. But I will go through that, I promise everybody. In the coming couple of weeks, I promise I'll walk through it, and if you feel like it's something you want, I can give it to you. I'm not going to hold it back from you. I just want you to use things that and when they're most appropriate when you're using them. Okay, so definitely we can review that together. Okay, does that sound good? Everybody happy with that? Yeah, it's much easier to look at a rent to own breakdown than this. Rent to own with this is a lot tougher to digest. Okay, all right. So Paul, this is your deal, yes? Okay, good. This is the last deal we're going to go through. Okay, we're just we're running up an hour and a half for some of you, an hour for the rest. But let's go through this deal and we'll close it out. And again, we're going to follow up next week. Okay, so we look at this sheet. The price, property, location doesn't matter. Price $325, 5 units. Okay, $645. Right away, I'm going to ask you a couple questions, Paula. That's okay. What does the $645 tell us right away? What are we going to ask? What question are we going to ask? What jumps out at us? At $645 per unit, we're wondering what? It's low, yeah, Dave, it's low, so that tells us what? Rooming house, is that what is it a rooming house? I don't think so, Paul. It's a rooming house, is it? Government funded, possibly. Okay, so Paul tells us it's not a rooming house. Low income area. Yeah, Rose, I would agree. Is that a low income area though? Possibly, Paul. Lower income area. Older places. Yep, that's what I might think. Yep. Government subsidized, government finance. Lower income. It's far from downtown. Okay. What about the area, Paula? It's not a war zone, or is it a lower income area, or is it just, the area? It's a decent area. So it's a decent area, Paula. Okay, well that's great. $645. Then if it's a nice area, Paula, I would bet. I don't know for sure. I would bet that they haven't been increasing the rent as they were supposed to. Yeah, Dave, I agree. Room for growth. Yeah. That's why you got to increase the rent every year. Because, in certain provinces, you cannot just change the rent as you wish, like in Alberta. There's room for growth. Yeah, Dave, I agree. Okay, so let's continue. As it sits, we bring in this much money. These are the expenses that were provided. Taxes, insurance, gas. 414. I assume then that they pay their own utilities, right, Paula? Yes, good. All right, good. Maintenance, we have about $1,500 maintenance. Now it's telling us that the maintenance needs to be topped up a little bit. That's 4%. At 5%, we're going to add a little bit more to ensure that it's covering that 5%. Vacancy, we don't have a number, so it's going to make us put in $2,000 almost for vacancy. Management, no management there, Paula. Is it self? Do they manage it themselves? Is that what they do? The owner manages it. Does he live there? No, he doesn't live there. Okay. So management's going to cost us about $4,000 a year. Now, the one option we could do, Paula, working with the management, is to have it managed on site by one of the units. So instead of $645 per month, this is the monthly for the management. If we had someone on site, we could get closer. We could reduce that because it's a multi-unit. If someone was on site, you brought somebody in to take one of the units, you could give them the unit and a little bit of money, and it might cost us a little bit less than $4,000 a year. Okay, but we'd have to take away that income from the rent. But let's just assume a management company is going to manage the whole property. Okay, so this tells us that the total operating expense is $15,000. Total net income. Net operating income is 23%, so this is not a terrible balance, right? 40% of the income is going to expenses, 60% to us. Let's leave financing alone for a second. Let's go to cap rate. Current cap rate 7.2. That isn't bad. 7.2 is not a bad cap rate. It's not 10, but it's closer to 10, right? Coverage ratio. If this is where the financing would become important to us. It would be a commercial property, commercial residential, so it would be 65-30 split. If we got these down to, say, 4 and 5, the coverage ratio would go up to 1.9, which means basically we're bringing in just enough money to cover the debt. We want that to be higher, right? Greater than 1.2 is where we'd like that to see. Right now, we'll focus just on cap rate, okay? Now, again, purchase price $325. What's the real value based on our evaluation? $232. See the difference? $325, $332. Okay, so we're $100,000 basically, just under $100,000 off on this price. Everybody see that? Okay, so what do, right? To get the cap rate where we need it at 10%, because look, here we're making average profit per month is $32, right? Do you remember what we said we wanted per door? Who can remember? Yeah, we got to get 75 a door, and right now we're $32 a door. It's too dangerous. It's not enough. Yeah, we need 75 a door. So to get it up there, once we can get the 10 cap rate, we're making $129 per door. We're in that good space. We're green. We're good. The coverage ratio is great. It's 150. It's over here. But the price needs to get here. Now, the only way we're going to get that price there, who wants to make some suggestions? How are we going to get the price there? Increase the rent? Well, Dave, we can't really do that here. We can't just increase the rent on them because there's rent controls. With new people that come in, we can increase the rent, right? But again, the market would have to decide that. That area, if the area is only fetching $700, you couldn't go much more than that. So we'd have to check into that, Paul, okay, what the rents are in that area to see where we could go. But its current position, for us to get this price closer to $325, right? What would we have to do? Well, the only shot we got really of getting it closer to that price is we can lower the maintenance. We can lower the maintenance by 10%. That'd be tight, but there's an opportunity with the on-site maintenance, right? That would help. Okay. Can't do much with the taxes, although those taxes might be a little bit higher. You got a tax assessment on this, Paula? That looks a little bit high for that. Might be too high, but it's in Montreal, so that's why you have a higher tax rate there. Okay. Insurance can't do much there. Electricity got to pay. Maintenance we got. So these numbers, and I mean, to be honest, Paula, this is great that they're paying their own utilities. That's awesome. That's excellent. That's the kind of property you want to look for. The dilemma is that cap rate is only going to give us 32 bucks. And that makes me a little nervous about the 32 bucks, right? If you put a down payment on there and take some of this away, yeah, so let's do that. Let's go 15 and 10. Let's make that 1. Okay. 1. Bring that down. 65. What did we do here? We added too much. No, wait, oh, that's why. 66. Yeah, if you put, no, I don't want you to put 20. 10 maybe would be okay. So let's go 25. And let's go 10. Let's do 9. Let's do this. It's 104 bucks a month, so that's not a huge difference. That's not going to make a difference per unit. That gets us up to 49. So if you put a down payment at 10%, which would be 32 grand, that might not be, that would help us, but it's still not going to get us there, right? At the end of the day, we need that price to come down. Now, let's try something else, Paula. Let's try if we did this. So if we equals, let me try this, Paula, equals first offer. Let's go with that offer. Plus, so minus this, plus this, plus this. Let's go back to this. Oops. 219. Wait a minute. 219. What did I do here? Okay. Does anybody know what I'm doing? Can anybody see what I'm doing here? I'm taking purchase price, right? Oh, I didn't add it. Purchase price 84. 220. So let's we take 220, right? That's the 220, and we take away the balloon payment there. Okay, that's 139, right? So 139. Then we're going to take equals the monthly that we're paying them, and multiply that by 12. Okay, that's what we pay in 5 years. Everybody with me? Is with me? Have I lost you? You guys still there? You still with me? Okay, good. So, and then I go, this equals the balloon payment plus this equals 219. How's that possible? Okay, somebody help me out. What am I missing? Oh, I know. My apologies. That's 12 months. This needs to be 60. There we go. 240. So we get up to 240. That's how high we can go, 240. We can make them a little bit more here. Let's do this. So that comes out. That didn't work. Equals this, actually. So if we do, Paula, if we do some creative financing with them, we could get up to 245. Where do these go again? What do you mean, John? So we could get, what I'm trying to do, second mortgage. Where does the second mortgage go? In which cells? This is all second mortgage stuff, everybody. This is the second mortgage. See that? Yeah. So what we would do, we can get this guy up to 245. Look what the price is. It's 325. So we're still way far away. Okay, does everybody see that? Okay? So what are some options we can do? Because taking it on Paula doesn't look like a good idea for us. We're probably too far away for this guy. Because if we look at this, then we go equals this divided by purchase price here for, and what with this there. So we could get up to 75% of it, Paula. That's still quite the discount. What are your thoughts, Paula? Paula, you still there? Yeah, real price. Yeah, I agree. Does everybody see what we did? We said we were trying to calculate, right? We're trying to calculate how much can we give this guy if we do some creative financing? Because even though we're offering him 220, we can get him up to 245 with the creative financing part, right? We can get up to 245 because they'll make the interest on this property over 5 years, right? So yeah, Timothy, one might argue that this is overpriced, right? Now, that being said, what are some of the things we can do? Okay, because it looks like owning it is going to be a problem. So what are some of the things we can do? So remember, I'm going to talk to the whole group. Some of you have heard me talk about, if the cap rate's in the 7 range, we still could do something. Do we have to make 75 to read some books? It's okay to make 54. Well, Vivian, you can bring that down. 75 for us is kind of, it's for safety reasons, Vivian, that's all. If you feel comfortable running at 50, it's just, it's closer, the coverage ratio, comes down, right? Right, Vivian, do you see that? So if we go, look, at 50, you see $50? Vivian, do you see that? $50, that's basically $50 profit per month, right? You see that, right? Good. The coverage ratio is 1.15, okay? What does that mean? Who can tell me what that means? The coverage ratio is 1.5. What does that mean? That's too low, and Vivian, look at the net operating income. It's 23,000. The debt service is 20 grand, right? So yeah, it's too close to break even at 50 bucks. You can get away with 50 bucks, but it's really close to break even. The dilemma is, Vivian, is let's pretend we have a bad year, right? And the vacancy, for whatever reason, goes up to 10. At 10%, the vacancy goes up to 10%. That extra money now, that vacancy drops you down to 17 bucks. And then the coverage ratio becomes 105. Right here. So look, total net operating income, total operating expense, total net operating income. Those are those numbers right there, Timothy. You see that? 45 and 55. You see that, Timothy? Good. So Vivian, you can go down to 50 bucks. You can. The dilemma is the coverage ratio doesn't leave for a lot for random stuff happening, right? To make something happen. So what could we do? Does that answer your question, Vivian? You see why the 50 bucks is kind of close? It's really close call. It's up to you. You can go with 50. It's pretty close to break even. Okay, let's do this. Let's go. Vivian, does that answer your question? Good, excellent. Okay, so Paula, what can we do with this? Anybody else? What can we do with this? 325. It's off, right? It's off. What are we gonna do? What can we do? The cap rate, we got it up to 839 because we took some expenses away, but really it's sitting around 7 cap rate. It would be tough to get the price down, really, Vivian. Make an offer. You could, Dave, but we're okay with no. But look, that's your maximum offer price, right? That's your maximum. Where are you going to come in at? You know, because if you come at this price and he says no, there's nowhere to go. You know, you can make the offer. With the VTV, we can go as high as 220. The dilemma is, you know, we're quite far away from this property. Now, there's a couple other things we could do, okay? Other than you know, purchasing it for ourselves. What can we do? What can we do? Because Paul, I'll tell you that Paul, when you say WS, what does that mean? Buy and sell. There you go. Vivian's got it. As once you said, if the property sits on the market for a long time, property could be lowered. Yeah, Jean, it could be. No room for wholesale, is there? Possibly. Wholesale is an option for us, and so is buy, fix, and sell. Okay. Now, Paula, was there anything wrong with this property? Do you know anything? Did they tell you that there needed any repairs, maintenance? You know, something that had to be done? Any word on that? Nope, everything is fine. Did they update everything? Because you said it was an older area. Has everything been updated? Is that the deal, Paula? Oh, not old, just far from downtown. Okay. How old's the place? Okay. Let's do this. At this stage, you know, the price is too high for a straight purchase. Wholesale or buy, fix, and sell if there's even a fix to be done. You know, to adjust the numbers, maybe the maintenance. Right now, what we can do is let's make an offer price, okay? So just to give you an idea, this property here times this 9, you know, that is 90% of the sales price. This typically is where you'll see people go down to pretty easily, okay? They won't, you know, because that's a 5% drop. It's not a huge drop. For us to do a wholesale, we'd probably be looking at somewhere around, let me see. Let's do this. Change that to 85. There, probably around there. So let's see what this guy, 308. With the creative financing, we can't get it because the income number's not going to change. You know what? Let's do this, Paula. Let's make an offer on this property. Let's see where this guy's at. Let's go for 325, right? So 252 353. There you go. Okay. All right. Let's see what that is. We're going to get a no for sure, but you never know, okay? Let's see what this guy's situation is. Divided by that. Flip it around. Okay. All right, Paula, let's do this. Let's offer him that price right there. 252,353. What do we want to hear on our first offer, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. We want to hear no. Yep. So let's see what this guy will do. Let's see what he's going to do. Paula, it's about 78% of the purchase price, 252. Let's see what he responds to with 252. So say to him, look, I ran the numbers on the property. 252,353 is what I came up with. Remember, we're in the 232 with the real cap rate at 10, so we're not too far away. That's the number I came up with. And let's see what he responds to. Now, he should say no to you there. And what we're trying to do in this case is we're more in the wholesale range. So this would be our top for wholesale. Everybody see that? 276 would be like a top for wholesale opportunity. Okay? So we're starting here. We can go as high as here. Does everybody see that? Good. Good. So Paula, did you find out how old the house is? Just checking. $1970. I mean, it's almost 50 years. It's not super old, but 50 years is a pretty good run. Okay, so Paula, let's do this. Let's offer him 252,353. Okay, let's see what he says. But it was renovated in 2014. Okay, so Paula, offer him 252,353, and expect to hear no. If we're going to wholesale it, which is the last thing, absolute furthest we can go really, we can't pay more than 276,250. Okay, so write down this number here and offer this, and that's the top number you can go. That's the maximum offer price you can go to make it worth anything for us. Because if we can't wholesale it, then we can't do anything with it. We can't do anything with it. Wholesale is like the last thing that you can possibly do, because we have to be able to take this 276, get it under contract, and give somebody else a discount, right? So that's 85% of the price right there of where it is, right? So let's see what this guy is going to respond to at that price. And Paula, stay in touch with me and let me know what he says, okay? Okay, folks, we've been on for almost 2 hours, some of you, which has been great. We've learned a lot. Everybody learned something today? Good. Keep sending in the deals. I love it. Love analyzing it. If you want your deal of existing property, I would love to see the existing properties. I know many of you do have them. The group that I just was with in Edmonton did. So in Calgary, I know you do. Send me your properties. Let's analyze them together. Get a better understanding, because we all learn from that, right? We all learn from that. Okay. Yes. Do you want me to email you the properties we ran? Okay, so anything that looks like a deal to you, I want to see. If you ran the property numbers and the cap rates, under 5, really there's not an opportunity there. But I want you to send me, if you want to go through it, though, to see if you did it right, I'm okay with that. Anything you want to send me, I'm more than happy to do that and do it together. Jean's asking if we start at 9 o'clock. No, I just did that for the Edmonton group. From this point moving forward, 9:30 will be the start time Eastern for everybody. And I will post this recording on YouTube in the next couple days. And you can just go there. For those of you in Edmonton, you don't have the link, or Calgary, I will send you the link. But everyone else has the link for that, okay? Rent to own, I'm going to do, Raphael, me and you will talk about rent to own. Rent to own, I'll share with the group, okay? We'll do rent to own sheet and walk through it and explain how it works, and anybody who wants can have it. I just want to make sure that you understand what you're doing. It was 19, yep. Okay? All right, so, okay. If everybody's good, type in yes. My pleasure. Yes. Awesome. Okay. Good. Excellent. All right. I will see you next week, and we will talk some more about rent to own or any properties that you send me, and continue developing our financing. Okay? Awesome. Everybody have a great night, And like I said, in a couple days, this will be up and recording. Just go to YouTube and you'll be able to see it. Thank you very much.